Look at these two cold emails. The first one was made with the help of 4 different apps. It's generic, boring, gets you average results, and costs $3,000 a year. The second one was generated with just 4 Claude skills. They found the leads, researched each company, wrote a fully personalized email targeting their pains and desires, and sent it automatically. And what if I told you that the second one took only about 15 minutes to set up, is fully automatic, and only cost me a Claude subscription? In this video, I'll walk you through the exact system and show you how to recreate it with me so you can replace your entire outreach stack with just Claude Code. First, lead finding. So I built a skill for Claude Code and Cowork that uses Appify to scrape Google Maps, industry directories, LinkedIn, and company websites for leads. So what this will do is take an ICP description, something like digital marketing agencies in the San Diego area, and return a structured list. Then it's going to find decision maker contact for all of the leads that it scraped, finds and saves everything in a markdown file, complete with the date and a lead score. Now the next step is where this system gets really powerful, because once we found the lead, we want to start enriching them. And for that, we're going to be using this skill. So it's going to take leads at the found stage, according to the index file, and use Firecrawl, Appify, and web search, craft a really detailed picture of who this company is, who the founder is, and what the company does. So using Firecrawl, it's going to visit the website, find out the company's positioning, the primary call to action, their named existing clients, their tech stack, the overall site quality. Then it's going to read the services page, get you all of their services, etc. Then go to the about page and find their story, find the contact person, their career history, whatever they can find about the decision maker. And you can see this is a really long and detailed skill because those are really the kind of outputs that we want. So let me go ahead and show you a sample enrichment for a company called Explore Digital. And incidentally, I did actually send an email to this company just today. So we have the company profile. You'll see that the company profile is very in-depth, got information about the founders, team members, what they do, their case study, all their services, their verticals, their clients, when it was founded, their website assessment, their tech stack, contact profile of the decision maker in question, contact visibility, how active this person is on blogs and events, prior companies, etc., social media presence, all recent activity, and then most importantly, the pain hypothesis. What exactly is this company doing? And based on that, how ripe are they for my services, which in this case is automation consulting. So instead of using like a typical Apollo and Clay workflow where you get some data points, by plugging this skill into Claude Code, you can actually have an entire mini thesis about the company, so that when you actually go ahead and write the emails, it feels like you've actually done the research, which you have, and you're talking directly to the owner with a highly personalized hit, knowing everything about their background. And that's what makes this system so incredibly powerful. So back in Claude Cowork, you'll see that once it actually found the leads, it went ahead and enriched all 5. It did deep website scrape. It found some very interesting insights around certain companies. Once all the lead research was done, it went ahead and gave me each lead with the pin confidence and their top. Perfect. Now all that's left after this is actually to draft the emails and load the drafts into Gmail. And as soon as I'm done showing you that, I'll show you how to string all of this together into one Claude Cowork project that you can then run as a repeatable system. So once we have all of our information for all of our leads, we can then ask Claude Cowork to draft emails. So for this example, I've only asked it to draft emails for 2 of these companies, Explore Digital and Crana, mainly because of the 5 leads that I asked it to find. The others already are selling AI and automation to a certain extent, so they're not exactly a perfect fit for what I do. So I asked it to draft the emails, and if I go back into the folder, you'll see that I have emails for Explore Digital and for Crana. So let's go ahead and check out these emails. This skill drafts 4 emails as a 4-step sequence with 1 main email and 3 follow-ups. So check out the cold opener. Saw the drip bar case study, 50 plus locations, 109% lead search, impressive result. And then based on that case study, the information that the AI found for us, it extrapolated a bottleneck. Someone is pulling and consolidating a lot of performance data every month. And that segues right into my offer. I built automated reporting pipelines for agencies managing multi-location clients. So you can see how smooth that was and how it spoke directly to the company based on something that it actually did. Now, the first email was impressive, and maybe you can pull this off to a certain extent using the tools that we spoke about earlier. But what you can't pull off is the incredible follow-up sequence that this skill writes for you. Most of your replies are going to come from your follow-up. So instead of those generic follow-ups like, hey, just bumping this up in case you missed it, all of the follow-ups are also customized. So follow-up number 1 is something that stood out from their website, the same extrapolated into the pain point and a segue into the offer. The same thing with follow-up number 2 and follow-up number 3. And it's not just this lead, it does this for every single lead. Let's check out the other one. So the cold opener, where it's really quantifying the pain. The overhead that quietly compounds is usually on the document side, briefing templates, feedback, cycle tracking, etc. The follow-up, once again, is very specific. Follow-up number 2 is very specific, as is follow-up number 4. Now imagine this level of personalization and depth in every single cold email that you send. What would that do for your reply rate? All right, so how do you string this all together? There's 4 skills and a README file that instructs Claude how to use each skill and what to do with it. All of these these skills are available in the school community. So if you want them, go ahead and check it out. So essentially, the 4 stages that we spoke about are broken down into 4 skills that we already saw. The README file instructs Claude how to use everything, and more importantly, how the outputs should be formed. And the skills are built in such a way that you can use Claude's native connectors to run everything that you need. So first off, in Claude Cowork, go to Customize, go to Connectors, and make sure that you have the Firecrawl MCP, Gmail, and Appify all set up. These are all built into Claude Desktop app. So all you have to do is set it up here, and then you're done. Now back in Cowork, let's go ahead and select the folder that we're working with. In this case, it's Lead Outreach Demo. Click Open. I'm going to click Always Allow. And because it's a README file, all I have to do is tell Claude to initialize this project. It's going to read all of the folders, understand what skills are available to it, going to go through the README, understand what the overall scope of the work is, and it's just going to update the Claude.md file with everything that it's learned. Now just click the plus icon, go to Connectors, and make sure that Firecrawl, Gmail, and Appify are all enabled. And once this Claude.md is done, we can just dive right in. Okay, now that the project has been initialized, I'm just going to add that folder to this text editor so you can see all the files that Claude Cowork creates as it goes through the processes. So back in Cowork, let's go ahead and ask it to find and enrich 5 videography companies in Chicago. Because we've loaded the skills, it's going to first use the find lead skill to find the companies for them, and then we use the enrichment skill to go ahead and do some very detailed research on each one. So while we're waiting for this to happen, let me go back to the sample one that I was doing earlier, and you'll see that Claude automatically saved the emails as draft in Gmail. I sent the draft, informed Claude that the drafts were sent, and it actually went ahead and marked both of those leads as sent. Now next time you run the email sending script, it's going to actually read your inbox, check for replies, updating leads accordingly, and even send follow-up once enough days have passed. All of this is built into the skill. So if you want to set this up to run nearly permanently, you can just go ahead and create a scheduled task inside that folder to check for replies once every day and send the next batch of emails. Now there's one important caveat. If you're using the tools that we mentioned at the start of the video, high volume cold outreach campaigns like sending hundreds or thousands of emails per day, then you're going to need a dedicated sending and warm-up tool like Instantly or Smartly. But if you're doing highly personalized outreach, which is really the point of this whole system, then a single Gmail inbox is going to be more than enough, because realistically, you're only going to be sending 10 to 15 emails per day. But take my word for it, those 10 to 15 emails are going to be worth thousands of generic emails, simply because the emails that you send are going to be that much more personalized. And just imagine the amount of hours and effort that you need to put to get this level of customization for every email you send would be completely overwhelming. And this AI system does it for you in less than 15 minutes. All right, so your old stack was Paulo for $60, Play for $180, and Smart Lead or Instantly starting at about $40 per month. The total, almost $300 per month, or over $3,000 per year. We've replaced all of that with an existing Claude Pro subscription, which starts at $20, and if you're really heavy on the usage, it would be $100 or $200 per month. But remember, you're not only going to be using it for cold email, you're going to be using it for almost every other aspect of your business as well. At the very most, on top of the $20 that you spend on Claude, you may have to spend $40 for the Appify scraper. Firecrawl gives you more than enough credit to do basic enrichment for about 150 to 200 leads every single month. And you may even be able to get away with the free tier on Appify. So for literally $0 extra that I'm already paying, I get customized lead scraping, in-depth lead enrichment that even the best VA might not be able to do, and automatic email scheduling and reply monitoring. Essentially, I was paying more for worse output. The research is better and the emails are better. Most importantly, these are the kinds of emails that actually get you replies. If you're paying for any combination of outreach tools right now and you want me to help you build systems like this for your business, that's exactly what I do in my one-on-one coaching. We'll build a customized AI automation roadmap for your business and work on implementing that roadmap to get you those precious hours back every single week. Every engagement ends with an implemented workflow in your business, not just a slide deck. There's a link to apply in the description below. And if you want the skill files and if you want the skills from this video to implement by yourself, they're all available in the school community. The link to that is in the description as well.